Here's a devotional for Tuesday from Hosea chapter 6. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. After 2 days he will revive us. On the third day he will restore us, that we may live in his presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. It's such an interesting passage. I think there's this really intense sense that people have been wandering from God, they've been turning away from him and living in their own way. And it's caused tremendous harm to them. It's been painful and difficult for them to live apart from God. But now God is saying to them, come on, through the prophet's saying, come on, let's return to the Lord. Let's go back into the presence of God. Let's pursue him. Let's seek his face. Let's be once again the people he calls us to be. Because in his presence is healing. He will bind up our wounds. In his presence there's refreshing and there's renewal. In his presence there's this deep sense like water pouring out on the earth to bring life and restoration. He is constant, he is faithful, he's sure. The prophet's saying, let's return to him so that we can live in the presence of God. So we can live close and near. There's this beautiful privilege that we have as the people of God to live within his presence. And this morning, where are you at? Or this afternoon or this evening, whenever you're watching this, where are you at today? Are there particular places where you've been running from God? Places where you need to restore to him and return to him? Places where you need to allow him to heal you or to draw you near, to revive you where you feel weak and worn and so very tired? Are there places where you just need to be drawn in to live in the presence of God? I think so often in our culture we tend to turn to all kinds of other things to make us feel satisfied or to make us feel full or complete. In our culture we can so often turn to our recreation or whatever else it might be to make us feel more whole. But as the people of God, let's turn to God. Let's recognize that he is the one who restores us. He's the one who revives us. He's the one who renews us. He's the one who heals us and binds us up. So let's continue to seek after him and pursue him. So there are places today where you need to come back to the Lord. Places where you're journeying and running far away from him. Or there are places where you're close to God, but you're not really pressing in the way that you could be. I love this bit in the middle of the passage where it says, let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. It's that idea of even in the spaces where we already know God, where we are already pursuing him. Let's keep pressing on. Let's keep seeking more of him. Let's never grow tired and weary of becoming more and more who he longs for us to be. Let's be his faithful people.